Good morning. We have two passages to read today, and the first one is Joshua 20, our next chapter. It's a very short chapter, very to the point. So we're going to read Joshua 20, and then we're going to flip back and read Numbers 35, verses 10 through 34. That's Numbers 35, verses 10 through 34. So pause me and read both of those passages. Okay, so this is about the cities of refuge or the sanctuary cities, and this is for a person who commits a crime unintentionally. So let's say you or a person accidentally kills your best friend, and you had no intention of killing this person. You had, it was purely accidental. There was nothing you could do that would have stopped this. It was just an accident. Well, God's law and the law of the land required that that a person avenge this death. So the avenger would be required to seek retribution. So these sanctuary cities, if the crime was unintentional, an accident, the person who committed the crime could go to one of these sanctuary cities, and the avenger, the person seeking retribution, who was usually the next of kin to the victim, would couldn't get to them. They're in this sanctuary city. So it does two things. It lets the avenger off the hook. So the avenger might know that it was an accident and not really want to do anything about it. Well, the law allows them not to have to do anything about it. Whereas if it was premeditated, the avenger has to do something about it. And it also gives the person who unintentionally was involved in this a sanctuary where he is safe. He or she is safe. So these cities were places of refuge. So God provides this refuge for us, even though we have committed crimes / sins intentionally and, sometimes unintentionally. He provides refuge for us. So these cities were, 3 were on the west side of the Jordan and 3 were on the east side of the Jordan, and they were spaced kind of evenly north through south so that you could get to one, and regardless of the tribe you were in. And then you stayed there and you had a trial, and if you were found, unintentionally guilty, but unintentional, you stayed there until the priest died. Once the priest died, you and your family could go back to your original tribe. So this kept the tribes together, but it gave them a refuge. A couple of things about these cities. They were very high on hills, so you could see these cities, which left you a little bit above the need for revenge, the above thing. And it was kind of like when you climb that last hill, you've done this, you're tired, you're exhausted, you didn't mean to do it, and this is the last hill, and you find refuge. And also it was so that you could see the refuge from a distance. So the fact that these were on that hill is kind of important. There's if you really want to do some research, there's some play on words here, like Shechem, one of the cities, means shoulder, and these words offer comfort of God, like you can lean on God's shoulder for comfort. The other thing about this chapter is that probably chapter 20 comes after chapter 21 in real life, because these were all Levite cities. So the Levites were in charge of protecting these refugees. And so the towns for the Levites are given in the next chapter. The story here, the lesson here, is that God does provide refuge for us, and He provided refuge for the Israelites. So when you really feel like you're done, God has refuge. And just this, it's a small little chapter. It's not mentioned, the cities are not mentioned again, but just remember that God provides the refuge.